Good day, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope you're alright, because it's time for a proper review. Last week we discussed the August Force White Rust Store. That was August 7, 2025. And that, of course, means today we're here to talk about August 14, 2025. So sit back and relax. I'm going to start yapping. So, what was my initial reaction when I first saw this Rust Store? Where did all the skins go? So, of course, with the previous week, you may recall we had quite a lot of skins. But that is something you should expect with every, Force White for every single month. Another thing we had to remind you, with this Rust Store, we saw the introduction of the pilot pack. All the airplane and obviously the pilot theme skins, of course with the hazmat and whatnot. So we got some special skins in this Rust Store, obviously referencing it. But what we didn't see is the focused item of the month being accepted. So over to here, what do we see? A wooden double door. So for August 2025, the wooden double door is the focused item of the month. But we had to learn from the previous one how we were going to, approach this. So what do you mean, Hedge? Well, first of all, with wooden double doors, we rarely ever see that many being accepted. Before, of course, this day, we did see the special Fancy Orb Global Warfare free charity skin, obviously right there. But before that, the previous one to be accepted was Halloween 2024's wooden double door from Hell. And at this specific point in time, as we're just about seeing skins starting to improve in the summer of 2025, with many skins rising up to brand new all-time highs, this right here, that was pushing up to $5 at one point. Very nice. And then all the other previous skins, aside from this one, all of them were doing very, very well. But it's partly due to the fact that we just hardly ever see that many skins being accepted. Now, another thing, just to remind all of you, it wasn't long, it was like 2 weeks ago, we had the special charity skin for $5 during the Global Warfare free event on Twitch. Well, you could spend $5 in a very special glow-in-the-dark transparent design that I think a lot of people did appreciate. So did any of you buy the charity skin? Feel free to comment below. I did, and well, it was very, very useful, as I said. This legacy wooden double door, whilst it was useful, had transparency, didn't glow. And I was kind of under the impression that, well, if very recently a lot of people just spent $5 on a wooden double door, perhaps they won't feel the need to go ahead and buy this. So I was kind of curious, maybe it wouldn't sell that much. Now, with it being an abnormal skin, of course, the smart strategy is to wait until the next Wednesday and then approach it with the abnormal barders, look at the support afterwards, and then we question how we approach it afterwards. So it was fine. I was hoping for a collection continuation. Yeah. But the next thing we had to be aware of is how likely we're going to see another wooden double door skin being accepted. Well, very likely. So let's just quickly hop over to here and remind you what happened with the previous focused item of the month. So that, of course, would be the salvaged ice pick. And if I can remind all of you, it took 7 years to finally see another salvaged ice pick skin being accepted. Then we got another one, and another one, and another one. So over the course of a month, we've got 4 salvaged ice pick skins being accepted. Now, you might notice that one, but that actually happened after the Rust Store we're talking about. So anyway, all of these, they appeared, and, well, the initial one got a lot of interest. A lot of people thought it was the first ever salvaged ice pick skin. That sold a lot. And the next one appeared, and that sold a lot. And the next one appeared, it sold quite a decent amount. And then the fourth one appeared, sold a decent amount as well. But because we got 4 salvaged ice pick skins in a row over the course of just 1 month, they all started to struggle immediately. So now you understand the problems I was kind of worried about with the wooden double door. Immediately, I'd say, oh, wow, that's going to be a wonderful, amazing investment. But the fact that I knew that there'll be, more after this, oh, yeah, okay, that's a bit problematic. That's a bit questionable. So, okay, perhaps that is special to see, but it still might have some problems afterwards. That's fine. And I did inform everybody about that. So, of course, we're already talking about investments. So, in regards to all the skins we saw in that Rust Store, what was potentially looking to be the most interesting investment? Well, I don't think you'll be that surprised when I say Sinotype tools was very interesting. You've got to remember, at this specific point, I think we're about several skins in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that's it. You're number 6. I even made another video talking about the progression with this collection, talking about how far will it actually go, because we kind of realised as we get closer and closer to Halloween time, it might only end at 14 or 15 skins in total. Or maybe it does continue, or rather finish around November time. We'll see. Anyway, so we're talking about that at that time. But one thing we also started to notice was the increasing amount of sales we're seeing for every single Sinotype skin. It was getting a bit more questionable. But at the very time right here, as we've entered the beginning of August, we saw many skins start to rise up in price. It was a bit iffy this summer of 2025. Typically, every summer we tend to see a lot of skins rise up in price ever so nice, reaching brand new all-time highs. We had a bit of a rocky June We saw some recovery in July, but a lot of skins were doing very nicely around August time. That looked reliable, but would it stay that way? Oh, that's something we'll be talking about, don't you worry. So, okay, you were looking reliable. What about all the other skins? So, one thing I had to address was the JPEG boots. Well then, another random pair of boots that's been waiting a very long time to be accepted, and of course, this quite literally completed the JPEG collection, more specifically the clothing and the armour. Because previously we had the tier 2, we had the hoodie and pants, we never got the boots with the roadside gloves, but hey, you did now. And then we got the tier 3. Point I'm trying to get across is we had a complete collection of the clothing and the armour. So of course, all of that spiked in demand, spiked in price ever so nicely, all the clothing and armour pieces. But what of the boots? Well, one thing we had to hope for was that the boots were going to sell between 10 to 15,000 subscribers. But would that be alright afterwards? What else could come out after the boots to help out the boots? Maybe a jacket? But would that actually happen? Or would the boots just be the very last skin to be accepted for the JPEG collection, and then it suffers afterwards? We did have to question that. Okay, fair enough, understood. Let's now hop back over to here. Looking at all the other skins, what also looked to be pretty interesting. Well, the wooden double door would have said that by now as well, but I was also very cautious with the other skins potentially to be accepted. Of course, we've already talked about that, so okay, cool. So then it kind of got a bit iffy. There were some problems with some of these skins. So let's just go through all of them now. Deep Sea Locker was interesting. And we knew that the naval update was just around the corner to a point. Again, we didn't really know when it was going to happen, but we knew for a very long time Facepunch had been working on a proposed naval update with, well, what appeared to be a lot of, like, ocean content. Yeah, that's what we knew back then. So maybe some aquatic themed skins would be appreciated. How many skins do we have accepted up to this point? So let me just remind myself. We just had the deep sea fridge. Then we got the locker. And these were just after the weapons. Yeah, that's it. Yep. These appeared beforehand. So cool. Well, unfortunately, that fridge had already gone down in price. And how many lockers have we had so far this year? We had tons of fridges, but how many lockers? Let's just remind ourselves. So over to here. Oh, well. So if I neglect the more recent ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's quite a lot of lockers. Compared to previous years, it is quite a lot. So even I would have brought that up. Oh, it's getting a bit concerning now. Getting a little bit too many locker skins. Maybe we're better off with a buy order. And that was abnormal, so okay, we'll leave it at that. Another garage door has been accepted. Oh no. So, okay, Harbour Seal. A very goofy yet cute, silly design, and it was selling for the standard price. It wasn't abnormal. But could it still hold and be okay? With the amount of garage doors we saw being accepted up to this point, things weren't looking pretty. And if I could just quickly remind myself, what did we see around this time? Yeah, so in total, we had seen about 29 garage doors. We're getting very close to the all-time high amount from the previous year, which was 34. So, unfortunately, with so many garage doors being accepted, I've said this many times in the previous Rust door discussions, we just keep seeing far too many options. They struggle to maintain interest, and they lose their value because of it. You're goofy, you're silly, and yes, you do have a collection behind you, but at this specific point, only 2 of the skins were doing good. The tools, well, I mean, would you consider a rocket tool? Anyway, the large box wasn't doing very nicely. The sheet metal door wasn't doing very nicely. So, yeah. Okay. Then we had a poncho, another transparent poncho. We have already seen some interesting transparent poncho designs in the past. This was trying to become like a brand new collection. So, if I could just remind myself, you were accepted around then. Were the hoodie and pants afterwards? I think they were. Were they just before? I can't remember. Let's go back over to here. Oh, no, there you go. I'm trying to sort myself out here. So it was after the hoodie and pants, correct? Yes. We were kind of hoping to see some tier 2 or some tier 3. Well, I wonder when that will ever happen. Anyway, so suddenly we're going primitive after a backpack and some hoodie and pants. Wasn't feeling very confident. So, yeah. And then, of course, we had a Python, which wasn't transparent with its aim sight. So initially I thought it did. And yes, this is part of the Black Ops collection, a very nice stylish sleek black design for many cool looking weapon skins. However, Pythons, they are not appreciated. I can show you right now. They're not appreciated now. They're not appreciated months ago. They weren't appreciated last year. So all the skins, they suffer. Yeah, sorry to say. So that wasn't looking very interesting, sorry to say. And in terms of investing, satchel charges are very, 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 very questionable. You skin it and then it explodes. That doesn't sound very helpful, counterproductive. Yeah. Anyway, point I'm trying to get across is there's an issue with explosive skins, or skins for explosives. As I just said, you skin it and then you throw it and it explodes, and then oh, there you go. We saw this previously with satchel charges of the past. Now, one thing to point out, over to here, this was the first satchel charge to be accepted after about 18 months. It had been a very long time. So long that these 4 skins that you see right here, they were all in the positive. But back when they were like, fresh in the rust stores, they were struggling. So I just couldn't help but assume, after the experience I saw in the past, that this was also going to suffer. This was also going to look very questionable. So, yeah. Well, that was all the predictions. Honestly, all the skins didn't really look like they're going to work out very nicely in the future. So let's just, showcase the first 24 hours of sales over to here. And, well, that Sinotype Tools had almost 21,000 subscribers. The wooden double door wasn't really anywhere close to that, with only 8,300 subscribers. The garage door was doing quite all right. It had just under 8,000 subscribers. And it seemed like a lot of people did appreciate the funerary poncho. The bandolier design, all the bullets. I mean, maybe a lot of people thought it looked goofy. Funny. Okay, cool. To my surprise, the Temple Satchel was doing quite nicely, but then again, the first skin to be accepted in 18 months, fair enough. It also glowed in the dark, so maybe a lot of people did appreciate that. Some nice, lovely nighttime raiding. When, the people on sleep. Anyway, Python, to my surprise, wasn't the lowest selling skin, but hey, what are you going to do? Again, it was part of the Black Ops collection. People liked it. But would it last? Would it hold? Ooh. Locker wasn't doing super great. Again, we have, at this point, seen quite a lot of Locker skins being accepted. And then, as you'll notice, JPEG Boots only had about 4,500 subscribers. Not a ridiculous amount of sales. It did look like it was going to slot in perfectly with its already existing collection, the JPEG collection. So now, let's go ahead and discuss how did things look on the night of the abnormals? What prices did we suggest? So, over to here. And I had to squint my eyes. So I can confirm, at this specific point, the Sinotype Tools had over 41,000 subscribers. The garage door right there, just over 19,600 subscribers. The wooden double door, 19,200 subscribers. The funerary poncho had about 15,600 subscribers. The temple satchel had almost 15,000 subscribers. The Black Ops Python had just under 14,000 subscribers. The Deep Sea Locker only had around 12,000 subscribers. And the JPEG Boots just under 11,000 subscribers. So, yeah, that Sinotype Tools did sell quite excessively. So what prices did we suggest for all the skins? Now, only 2 of them were not abnormal, the garage door and the boots. So for the Sinotype Tools, basically up to this point, pretty much every single Sinotype skin was a $1.70 to $2.20 buy order. As we get closer to the autumn fall seasonal dip, I would have said this back then, I just couldn't help to assume that, based on what I've saw with previous storage skins, storage collections I should say, they typically end up, on average, selling for around $3 around October time, which tends to be the absolute worst time for skins. And at that lowest point, it's probably the best time to jump in and make some investments. So, yeah, I thought maybe at worst it'll probably be stuck at around $3. A $2.20 buy order very likely could be quite successful. And hey, if it ever crashes and burns, $1.70 wouldn't be too bad. So anyway, Legacy Wooden Double Door. I looked at it, questioned it, and I knew there was going to be more skins because I have to remind you of this. As we're looking at all the skin submissions on the workshop, before it was the focused item of the month, rarely would I ever see a wooden double door skin being submitted. At best, maybe 1 or 2. That would be probably over the course of a month. At this specific point, I just kept seeing wooden double door after wooden double door after wooden double door being submitted over and over and over. We had 10 to 20 submissions every single week over the course of the entire month. So, yeah, wasn't feeling the most confident with that. I suggested $1 to $1.50. In fact, I have it right here. 21 wooden double door skins were submitted. So, yeah. So, okay, cool. Funerary poncho. Having seen all the previous transparent designs for ponchos dropping in price pretty badly in the past, either like gold chains. At $2, I thought, you know what? I can't help but assume we're going to drop off. Maybe we'll see some interesting collection continuations. Will we see core pieces like Tier 2 and Tier 3 being submitted, or will the skin creators decide to do some burlap or some hide clothing? It was interesting, but I just couldn't help but assume it's going to drop off. 80 cents to $1.20. For the Temple Satchel, I I just didn't trust it. I really didn't think it's going to hold up. There was the possibility of seeing some more Satchel charges. Perhaps Facepunch would like to see more of them, and maybe we'll see more being accepted. But again, they explode, skin gone. So yeah, 60 cents to 80 cents. I didn't trust it. The Black Ops Python, I just don't trust Python skins as investments. I just went with 60 cents to 80 cents. And the Deep Sea Locker, an interesting design. Didn't sell that ridiculously. Doesn't glow in the dark. Could we see more of you in the future? Had to keep an eye out. Of course, there were skins being submitted. I remember there was a small box at this specific time. I just went with 80 cents to $1.20. I didn't feel very confident in that $2 skin. And for the regular skins that weren't abnormal, Harbour Seal Garage Store, you sold for $1.49. I just thought, yeah, 60 cents to 80 cents. And the JPEG boots, you sold at 99 cents. You slotted in perfectly with your collection. And at that specific time, JPEG collection was just very comfortably in the positive, every single clothing armor piece, other than the boots, of course. So I just thought, you know what, 70 cents to 80 cents, that should be all right. I'm sure it'll hold up. And so, now we hop back over to here, and we shall discuss what was the outcomes. Did everything turn out all right? No. Oh dear, oh dear. So, of course, we're now halfway through October now. Honestly, have you been looking around for some investments? Because a lot of the skins did drop off. And I'm kind of getting, having seen some of the skins and whatnot, I get the feeling quite a lot of them actually reached their lowest point around the end of September. Still around the same time, but yeah, go look at your inventory. Go look at the things you're considering investing into. Or maybe you thought about wanting to buy like a camouflage collection for yourself, but you wanted to wait for the cheapest possible time. The best time to buy it for the cheapest price. So go look now. That's what I'm saying. How are all of these skins looking right about now? Not good. But that definitely applies. The time that I'm looking at this definitely has an impact. If you were to look at all of these skins again around January time, January 2026, when there's a lot more people playing, I wouldn't be surprised if you might see some of these do a little, a fair bit better. But still, even then, I think at best these skins would probably be evens. All right. This wasn't a very thrilling, insane, crazy sort of Rustor. But again, some of the choices for the skins, they rarely do quite all right. So let's talk about the Sinotype skin first. As I said, it looked very reliable. It looked very interesting. But it did sell quite a lot. 44,355 subscribers, and you crashed and burned. Now, this was the one that did the worst. I'm not really sure what happened. Oh, I do. Actually, I do know. Because what happened with the next Rustor? A boom. Surprise. 10-year anniversary, complete the sets Rustor. No Sinotype skin. So a lot of people panicked when this happened, and a lot of the prices crashed and burned. And because this had only just come out recently, this actually suffered real bad. A lot of people had them in the inventory. They assumed the worst. They unloaded. Prices did drop off. So, yeah, that was very, very rough. And to this day, right now, as I said, we're halfway through October. A lot of prices have dropped off pretty badly. This is only sitting here at $1.50. But is this its absolute worst price at the moment? No. No, it is not. So, okay. But it's not exactly doing super crazy, wonderful. But it looks like it's stopping going down now. It was still going down a fair bit. Had like a bit of a resurgence, but still going down. But now, as you can see, like right there, it's starting to turn. So if you were to consider investing into this collection and you noticed, oh no, it's not the absolute lowest price. So it's still good. I mean, as I said, look at this around January 2026 time. I wouldn't be surprised if this does rebound and recover with its collection. Yes, it might have sold a lot. But so as long as the Sinotype whole collection works out very, very nicely, this will also do good. Yeah, it might be the cheapest, but as time goes on, this might only go up to about, I don't know, $4. Still profit. So if you're feeling confident in the Sinotype collection, honestly, look at it now. Go for it now. Make it, jump in. Some of you very likely did already buy some of these. I did buy them with my buy orders. Because, of course, I suggested $1.70, $2.20, and yes, I bought them. I got dumped on. But I'm not going to sit here and say I'm upset. Yeah, you got quite a lot of listings at the moment, but as I said, we're still expecting the whole collection to be finished. We do have Halloween in the way, but I can't help but assume it will properly wrap up with the final submissions in November, okay? So stay optimistic and feel free to comment below. Did you buy any straight from the Rust store? How many did you buy of your buy orders? So unfortunately, with the price just in there, this was the worst one. So that didn't really work out very well. With all the other skins, they actually did quite all right. So, okay, fair enough. Legacy wooden double door. I said $1.50, $1 to $1.50. So a lot of people did jump in at the last second. You might have noticed on the night, if I could just quickly hop back over to here, the garage door did surpass the wooden double door. But then over the course of like the next 20 hours, A lot of people jumped in at the last second to make a move for the legacy wooden double door, and oh dear, that was probably a bad idea. Down and lost a third of its price. So yes, this did get a lot more skins being accepted after it. Let's just quickly remind you, we got the military storage wooden double door, the next rust door, and then the Tomb of the Octopus wooden double door, and then a Celestial Harmony wooden double door, and then quite some time later, Pixel wooden double door. So oh dear, an item that rarely ever got skins being accepted suddenly got tons. Well, in a short amount of time, I should say. So yeah, even though you had transparency and it was useful, still is, you are struggling at the moment. But it's not the end of the world. As I said, if you were to look at this around January time, when we do have the next very nice time, and by nice time I mean a lot of people playing, there's a big demand for skins, and then the prices improve ever so nicely, well, I think this will be improving. Look at the listings. Do you see absurd amount of listings and whatnot, like we just saw with the Sinotype tools? No. It's quite thin. It's looking quite nice. I've got to say, that $1 to $1.50 barter suggestion worked out very, very nicely. So feel free to comment below. Did you buy any from the rust door? Did you pick up any of the barter? I have, with barders, and I'm not upset. I feel like that's its lowest point. I'm very happy to see how it turns out, obviously, with the expected rebound. Are we going to see any more wooden double doors being accepted this year? I think I saw a couple for Halloween, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few for Christmas, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see another one this year. And I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see that many next year as well. Before we saw the wooden double door being the focused item of the month, it was incredibly rare to see that many skins being submitted for it. And right now, or rather, the very second it was no longer the focused item of the month, 0. Well, I've seen like maybe a few over the course of the past 2 months. That's it. Whereas, as I said, the night before we saw the next rust door, we saw 21 submissions the previous weekend. So it was getting a bit crazy. Focused items of the month, their skins tend to have problems, and we have learned from that. So, okay, cool. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people bought you because you are useful, and I'm pretty sure they're still happy to be using you. And I'm still kind of expecting you to have a nice rebound. Obviously, we're looking at the skins at their worst times. That's yeah, anyway. So, if you feel upset, feel free to comment below, and if you feel comfortable, feel free to comment below. Let's now talk about Harbour Seal Garage Door. So, for the Harbour Seal Garage Door, I just said 60 cents to 80 cents. I didn't trust it. And as you can see, they're sitting there at $1. So, I mean, can't complain. I just assumed the worst, didn't really go for it, and hey, I wasn't wrong. So, how are you currently holding up at the moment? Because you did go down, but this is starting to rise up as well. So its lowest point does appear to be at the very end of October. End of October, early October, same thing anyway. So you are starting to improve, and I have seen the occasional Harbour Seal skin being submitted. But will we see any more until the end of this year? Not sure. I mean, it's up to the skin creators. But yeah, this just matched up to expectation. I foresaw that this would drop off, and it did. But if this is at its worst, what will it be at its best? So I have to keep an eye out for that. But the constant garage doors being accepted and Twitch drops and all that, yeah, it's not helping out any of the garage door skins that currently exist. But what we are seeing from here and now are brand new skinnables. So consider this. If we start seeing, of course, brand new beds, and of course, brand new handmade LMGs, and of course, tactical gloves, and various other brand new skinnables, how many of those are going to be accepted in the regular rust doors? And are we going to start seeing garage doors, sheet metal doors, AK-47 SARs? Are they going to become less prominent? And if that happens, what do you reckon will happen? So we'll see how that turns out. I think I need to do like an end of year sort of talk. I've got to bring that up, haven't I? So obviously talk about all the things I bought, as investments and whatnot, straight from the rust store. If we're going to talk about every single barter I did, we'll be here for a very long time. So yeah, you matched up to expectation. Barter seems quite all right. If you bought any, feel free to comment below. If you bought them with your barders, feel free to comment below. I have picked up a few. I do think I did remove my barter though. Pretty confident I did do that. So, all right, cool. Funerary Poncho. So we did see collection continuations, but it wasn't primitive skins. So when we saw like the tier 2 being submitted, did you spike them on spike and price? I see you rising up quite nicely around the beginning of September. Let me remind myself, when did the tier 2 appear? So the tier 2 appeared, the beginning of September. Interesting. So you did rise up in price when we saw the core piece being accepted, but since then you're just gone. So yeah, I'm not confident in transparent ponchos anymore. but it seems its lowest point was probably around $1.10. Right now, you're currently sitting there at $1.24. You've already started to recover. So this is interesting. I'm going to have to make a video talking about this. It seems we're already past the worst of it with the autumn-fall seasonal dip. So if you're watching right now, oh, you found out early. You've got to go ahead and start looking for investments now. Maybe right now it might not be the lowest prices that the skins have reached, but they're still going to be a lot lower compared to what we expect for January time. So you're not too bad, but it's not doing good. And Funerary Collection is still kind of hoping to be completed. We never got tier 3, even though we've had 3 attempts now. Could we see it this upcoming Thursday? Oh, but oh dear, what's happening? Will the skin creators consider doing some burlap clothing and whatnot? Well, they did. What about hide clothing? We'll see, but that needs more primitive skins. I kind of wouldn't be surprised if this is going to, at best, it will probably reach up to $2. It'll be evens at its best, but then when times are bad, it'll go back down again. I don't think that's going to work out spectacularly. Until we see collection continuations that really benefit this, I think it's just going to be a novelty which people just probably put on to say, aha, look, I've got the bullets, aha. So, yeah. Temple Satchel. It lost half of its price. The 60-cent to 80-cent suggestion was perfect. So, of course, you're probably questioning, is this the same skin in the same collection as the Temple tier 3? Yes, it is. We've got some deplorables, we've got explosive, and now we have tier 3. Where's tier 2 though? I don't know. So this didn't spike in price when we saw the tier 3. I honestly don't think it. No. But did you? No, because that's the beginning of September. I guess you just had a bit of a second win and it. So this kind of looks like it's stagnating at the moment. It doesn't seem to be going down in price anymore. So chances are, if you did a 60-cent, 20-cent barter, you're probably very happy at the moment. Are you? Feel free to comment below. So I don't remember if I actually put down a barter. I just didn't really have any faith in it. I'd have to remind myself. But yeah, matched up to expectation. Explosives. We're going to have another 2-year drought to see that rise up in price. Could it happen though? Or could that end up being a focused item of the month? Well, we'll have to wait and see, but yeah, kind of pretty much perfectly matched up to expectation. And now we have the Python. You are now 82 cents. Oh dear. So Python, it's the actual item itself. If it's not being appreciated, where's the justification to own skins? Now, I don't remember if I did a super strong barter, but I do remember I only did 1 buy order. I'm not sure if I'm the 72 cents or the 66 cents, because when on the day of it happening, I did my first barter. I saw other people did barters above me, and I just thought I don't really feel like doing a second barter. Yeah, you're going to take some time to recover. Chances are, though, its highest price might only be about $1. Yes, it's part of the Black Ops collection, which does appear to be getting quite a lot of interest to a point. But it's not doing. Yeah, it's down bad. It's down bad. Oh dear. It is the worst performing skin out of all of the skins right here. So, I mean, we could still wait for the Black Ops LR 300. So okay, cool. Unfortunately, you basically matched up to expectation. Quite literally, 80 cents. Oh dear. So if you manage to pick some up, feel free to comment below. Deep Sea Locker. We saw more lockers. In fact, we got Twitch drops. So very recently, we got the Rastoria locker, we got the Shoto Michi locker, and we got the Greening Area locker. Wow, you lost half your price as well. Oh my. Anyway, Deep Sea Locker, down 60% basically. So we've seen far too many lockers this year, and it's becoming a problem. This is down to 85 cents. However, you don't seem to be going down in price that much more. Could we see an interesting rebound for this skin when we see the naval update release? Because it is aquatic themed. It's got all the shells and the octopus and whatnot. Could you see a lot of people wanting to buy into that? I did buy a few of these buy orders. So yeah, I did remove my barter as well. I'm very curious to see what happens next. Consider all of the Abyss deplorables as well. Will people be jumping onto them? Or we're going to suddenly see all the skin creators making pirate themed skins? Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? And then lastly, the boots. The question was, what's going to come out after the boots to help out the boots? Unfortunately, there's nothing. So right now, to this day, the JPEG collection is actually doing quite all right in regards to the clothing and the armour. It's quite happy. Oh yes, very, very happy. But not the boots. The boots lost a third of its value. So yeah, until we see some jacket skins or some sort. I mean, it's just not doing very well. However, whilst it has 121 listings, do you notice how it's very, very thin? And then above $1, it's suddenly 105 listings. Huh. This very likely could have a nice rebound. We just got to wait a little bit longer. Did I buy any of these with a barter? I'm pretty sure I did. I'm not sure how many I have, though. I do believe I would have removed the barter. So in regards to that, I suggested 70 cents to 80 cents. Oof. But then again, it's kind of still sitting here at 70 cents almost. And this is supposed to be its worst price. So as we go over to here, have you stopped going down the price? It looks like you have. So okay, if this is it at its lowest, what happens next? Will the JPEG collection remain in demand? What do you reckon? Because this is something you got to consider. That very likely could be an interesting investment. But then again, how many have sold in the past, like 24 hours? 12. Liquidity as well. 32. I think someone dumped you. Yeah, it looks like someone dumped you. Ooh. So, okay, well, we'll just have to wait and see how that turns out. And that's basically it. So, I was a bit wrong there. But that was quite a surprise. But for everything else, it's pretty spot on. Pretty spot on, yeah. So, you can criticize me if you want. Don't be too harsh. But honestly, didn't really turn out to be a super amazing, fantastic Rustore, did it? And I could tell with the choices of some of the skins. But honestly, this did feel like a bit of a breather sort of Rustore. You know, after so many skins being accepted, we kind of needed a bit of a breather. And with the preview for the next week, look at all the skins we got literally the very next week. Oh my. So, hey, you just happen to be in between two big fat Rustores. That's fine. But yeah, literally the very next Rustore, the Complete the Sets Rustore for 2025. And we saw a lot of very, very, very interesting collection continuations. We saw some very, very, very interesting choices for skins. Oh look, Bloody Hoodie finally gets its continuation after 10 years. So yeah, we had quite a fuss about this. But yeah, some of these have dropped off, haven't they? That's a fair bit unfortunate. But did we predict it? Did we anticipate the potential drop-offs? Well, of course, we'll talk about that in next week's profit review. So once again, thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. If you've made any profit so far, which I highly doubt, based on what I see here, or if you're very happy with what you picked up, feel free to comment below. Brag if you so wish. But we're now sitting here waiting for the slow ride towards post-Christmas. It really does feel like we've kind of passed the lowest price points for many skins, and I probably will need to make another video talking about that this upcoming Saturday. So thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Best of luck to you. And as I said a lot throughout this video, go look for those investments right now. If you've got money, if you've got funds, go look around. Go buy some skins that will rebound quite nicely in the future. I'm not sure if this is the best batch, but maybe some of the skins we just showed off for Complete the Sets or previous Rustores make a move now. So thank you very much for watching me. Greatly appreciate it. Best of luck and catch you later.